Welcome back, guys, for another video. So today we'll be basically kind of doing an update that's talking about the plans of what I'm going to start doing in the aquaponic system, or more kind of the renovation part, since I'm going to kind of change some grow beds up, which I'll be showing you in later videos when I get to it. So basically this will be the plan, and if you do have any ideas at the end of the video, just remember to leave them at the comments, because I'm open to ideas. If you have any suggestions on what you would like to see me do or what you think would be good to do, I am open to all those. So let's get to it. So if you've seen my other videos, you know generally how my aquaponic system looks. I got multiple grow beds and multiple fish tanks. Got my floating raft. This was a floating raft, but this one's going to be kind of moved, which I'll get to in a sec. This is my hydroton grow bed, which I mostly have, I keep forgetting the name of this, that growing there. I'll just post it up in the corner. I got those three over there, kind of a sump and another sump over there, and then my 5 fish tanks over here, and then I got that fancy one up top, this guy over here, which is kind of gonna be a breeding setup on its own. So the plan for this one is to hook up, or basically dig a hole either on this side or that side, put a kind of a bucket or a 55-gallon drum in there, probably not that big, just as a sump tank connected up to some sort of filtration, and then have them all run into there. That would be the plan for that. I have 7 filters, so I got 3 over here and 3 over there. So both of those are supposed to be radial flow filters, and then those, well, this is a radial flow filter. This is supposed to be a moving bed biofilter. I haven't got to making this a moving bed biofilter since the plan for the aeration I haven't got to yet, so I don't want to put the media in there and then move stuff up. These are supposed to be also radial flow filters. Are kind of like, I'll also probably put some media in there just to catch finer materials, since my water flow is my water flow is too fast, so things don't set out too well in this one at the moment. Well, they're not really done being set up, since I haven't got to that yet, since I'm still running through ideas. And then I have these as well over here. Got a radial flow filter, a moving bed biofilter, and then another radial flow filter. Again, this will, since my flow is too strong on this side as well, doesn't settle quite well in this tank or in these tanks. This one over here, these two tanks got a bunch of gunk at the bottom. It's kind of hard to see because I'm growing duckweed and fairies moss in here, just because it splits off and it slows down in here. But like in those tanks and these tanks, the water flows too fast. I'll put some baffles and stuff in there when I get to it. But yeah, this would be a moving bed biofilter. I haven't set this one up. Same reason for the ones on the other side, since I haven't set up the aeration for it. But these radial flow filters will also be done during that time. But basically the idea I'm thinking of is, since I don't need all these fish tanks, I got 5 of them, kind of like the fish side of it, so one would have different fish in each of them, but I don't think I'll be keeping these 2. So basically what I'll be thinking, what I'm going to be doing is taking these 2 out. I'll put actually one of these in the ground, replace the one IBC tote I have over there with one of these, since this is a bigger one. This is a 330-gallon IBC tote, that's a 275-gallon IBC tote, so that'll give me about, what, 60 more gallons, something like that, in that sump tank. And then basically when I take those out, which is going to be tough, is that to move this over there, it's going to be a tough feat on itself to get through this area, and then to get the other one out of the greenhouse. Yep, we'll see how that goes. But basically when I do move those out, I'll move these filters kind of in this one section right here to condense it over there, and then I want to put this other blue grow bed along this area right here, and it either be a floating raft or a media grow bed, but that will be kind of along there. It will overflow and go into this same part over here, just like this one. This I'm actually going to modify, because I want to put a bell siphon on this, and how it's set up right now doesn't allow for a bell siphon because there's no air able to enter up through there. So I do plan to put like that acrylic aquarium just under that spot, which should do it. But then I'll have that grow bed there, which will be floating rafts or a media grow bed, which will give me a lot more growing space, because all I need pretty much is just to put a good amount of fish in these 3 tanks, and then I'll have enough, what do you call it, fish waste to populate the bacteria, or to give enough food for the bacteria to develop nutrients for the plants and stuff like that, since I don't think I need these two. That would be the plan for that. Then over here, as I mentioned, I plan to put the other sump tank or the other IBC toad in there just because it's bigger. And then I might put another grow bed over here and do another like media or floating raft, or I'll do kind of like a vertical stuff or nutrient fill or NFT nutrient fill technique, pipes going along here. That is the plan for that. And then right in this section where this one is, instead of putting another grow bed, I want to put like a table here. That way I have something to work on to start seeds and all that kind of stuff. So I'll have like heating pads underneath. I can put like some storage. That way it's just a workable area. So you take the plants off and put them over here, and then you can grow them and stuff like that. I mean, take them off and then put some new ones inside. So that's the general idea. Just this area I'll be working on, and then that area there. And then I do also have to do a good amount of plumbing for this aeration. I want to put a bigger air pump and then have it all connected to one. So I'll have the air in there. If this is another floating raft, I might have some air in there depending on how I set it up. I'll need air inside this moving bed biofilter and that moving bed biofilter, and then these 3 tanks. I'll also need to have the air, a valve to be able to put air into all of these ones, and as well into that one. So that'll be the plan with that. Hopefully the pump I do have, which is a regenerative air blower, should be strong enough. So that'll be the plan for basically the aeration from like this section over here. And then for the plumbing, I'm gonna make the plumbing more efficient. So basically it starts over here, kind of be different. I'll be using hard plumbing instead of this flexible plumbing. I'll put multiple valves, one that I can, like, if I needed to drain it out, I can drain it out, or if I needed to reduce the flow, I'll have a valve just going from the plumbing back into here, and I'll go up in there. And then for the fish tanks, it'll kind of be split off. It won't be like how it is right now. So right now I have just one pipe coming up into this tank over here, and then everything overflows into all of those things. Well, these won't be here. It'll still overflow into these filters if that's what I decide to do. The problem with that design is, though, if I have fish in here, fish in there, and fish in there, the fish poop from here goes into there and then into there. So these fish are swimming in more waste than those fish are swimming in, which is kind of not so efficient. So it's more effective. I kind of have it built off already. I built this part right here to be able to connect all the tanks to the pump. So it'd basically come along here, and then it'll be connected to the pump down there, and then I have valves up there so I can adjust how much flow is going into each tank, and then each of these tanks will be connected to the filter separately so that they're all getting fresh water and it's not circulating from one tank to the other. So that's pretty much how that is. Those are generally the plans. I want to take this guy off and put something smaller so it's not in the way. That's just what came with this tank, so I left it on there, but I'll just have to drain this all out and cut it out. This window, I actually do need to replace these nuts and bolts and washers, because they had well, basically when I got it from the company, they accidentally sent me the wrong nuts and bolts and washers. They kind of rusted. They weren't the stainless steel ones, but they replaced it for me, which is good. So when I do drain this out, I just replace it. The rust doesn't have any effect on the fish. It just, maybe over time it might cause more leaking or leakage. Kind of see it, some leaking, cracked a little, so I'll replace that too. I also actually might put a window here, which would be pretty cool, so you can see the fish, or so I can see the fish, which would be nice. I won't be able to put one on this one, unfortunately, but at least I got 2 tanks with windows. Also, this whole front will be insulated. This tank I'll need to insulate more, just so there's a less heat exchange. It's will be more of a constant temperature, which I'll be talking about the fish in another video. But that's generally how it's gonna be. I also want to put some fans up in like the 4 corners. just to give it more air circulation. Right now I have this guy in here, which is all right, but the more airflow you have, the less dead areas you have inside here. It's better for the plants as well, just more circulation. Especially now, since it's a lot more moist. You can see the condensation on the top of the greenhouse. I also have a dehumidifier, but because of the factor that it's colder outside and warmer in here, the evaporation or condensation and stuff from the tanks just causes a lot of moisture in the air, and more moisture will cause mold and stuff on the wood that I have down there, on the plants, because they become congested. So if I have those fans up there, it's better for the plants to circulate the air in the actual greenhouse. And then you've also seen my compost bin in the last video. I had some good feedback from people inside the comment of the last video, so I do plan to probably move it out from here until here, so I have that extra space, which will make it a good 3 feet maybe. I'll have to measure, and that should do better. Then plus I just have to pack a bunch of stuff in there. Maybe I might run some piping underneath it and connect a small pump, which could also generate heat to add to the greenhouse. And then since I'm going to be building it out farther, I will reinforce the top a little more, and I might put 2 beds on top of here, or kind of like grow beds, you can say, for duckweed and hydroton, which you saw in the other filter, and that which I can use to feed the fish or just throw in the compost and stuff like that, since that's very beneficial. Or it grows, pretty much doubles in size every day given the right conditions. And that, what I have over there, will also kind of be connected to the aquaponic system. I can have some water from my plumbing run into there and overflow back into here. But that's generally how it is. Yeah, I think that's all. I also installed a window here a little bit back, just so I have easier access on the plants over there. So when I needed to, when there's a bunch of plants growing, all I could do is open that kind of screen window, and then I can access those plants, which would be nice. So I think that's about it. I don't think I'm missing anything. If I'm missing anything, we'll see it in the rebuilds parts. Well, that about sums up this video. It will take a bit to get to those different projects, since I do have to get some material and stuff to basically, I need to redirect the water so I can shut off different areas, and kind of still in the planning process. There's also your ideas. If you do have any ideas, if you leave them in the comments, that will help me also decide what to do. Other than that, that's about it for this video. And as I mentioned, if you do have any comments, remember to leave those below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.